I'd like to talk with you a little bit now about what I call the squirm point, a surprising place of consent and transformation. Centering prayer, as you know, is the prayer of consent, and the welcoming prayer is consent on the go. And what is it that we're consenting to? We're consenting to God's presence and action within. We're consenting to being in these bodies that we've been given for this time we have on earth. And we're consenting to the reality of the present moment as it is. In welcoming prayer, we go beyond consent to surrender, to welcoming, to embracing what we're experiencing in the moment and the reality of what is going on in our bodies. Sometimes welcoming is the last thing that I want to do. When I'm experiencing some afflictive emotions like anger or rage or grief or guilt or jealousy, if I'm experiencing some physical sensations like the heartburn of anxiety or a bad stomach ache or a crick in my neck or some chronic pain, then everything in me might be saying no. The squirm is that point when we want not to consent, but to escape, not to face, but to avoid, when we would rather run away, deny, pretend, when we may want to jump out of our skin. Is this outwardly visible, this squirm? It may not be outwardly visible, but inwardly we feel it physically, a shifting, a fidgeting inside, writhing or wiggling. We may feel agitated or restless. We just can't sit still. This discomfort, the discomfort of the squirm, can send us into our addictions, whatever they may be, whether they're drugs or alcohol or food, chocolate maybe, shopping, gambling, binging on TV or the internet, violence to ourselves or others. The squirm is an invitation, a point of choice. Do we run away or do we ride it out? Really, there is no escape. I think about a time before I even knew the welcoming prayer that's an example of this for me, and that is going into labor with my only child and the experience of that internal writhing and wiggling and wanting to get out of it. How do I get out of this? And of course the answer was there all the time. There's no getting out of this. The only way out is through. The only way out is to give birth to that little baby. Jesus himself had a squirm in the Garden of Gethsemane when he says, "Take this cup from me." But if you notice when you read that passage, he almost instantly says, "Not my will, but thine be done." That ultimate surrender. The irony is that when we think that we can't stand the pain any longer, when we can't bear another minute, that prolongs the agony or exacerbates the agony. Instead, if we surrender to what is, we may experience in the moment some relief. And even if we don't, healing is taking place at a deep level of our being. We can't change what has already happened in this moment. We may make a different choice and take needed action in the next moment, but in this moment, we're called to consent. Instead of fighting and resisting, to trust, as my colleague says, the one who brought us to this moment will see us through this moment. The welcoming prayer helps us to ride out the squirm, to stay in our own feelings, present to ourselves, and open to the healing of the Holy Spirit. The squirm point is really the cross, the crux in our lives. If we bring compassion to ourselves in this moment of crucifixion, then God will bring new life and resurrection. The squirm point I'm feeling right now in this moment is the locus of my healing and transformation.